I wanted to speak to you about computer-aided design, or CAD, and how it's connected to 3D printing. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person with you guys, but I wanted to share a couple things with you. First of all, what we call CAD is the kind of the computer interface that allows us to do things with 3D printing. And I'm going to show you software in a minute that we teach here that's like Tinkercad. But computer-aided design is even bigger than that. There are people that design things on a computer that are never printed out. For example, this is a program here called Maximo, which is about creating characters for video games. So you can see these are designed the same way a 3D print is designed. Someone had to create the shapes and the structure of the face and the body. But they also employ the physics of movement in there. Here's another website called Blender. Blender and Maya are kind of high-end animation software. So movies have been made with this that you've seen if you're a fan of things like Pixar or Disney animations. A lot of them are made with software like this. So you can see that these things are hardly ever actually printed out, but it's still, and you can see with this creature here, it's a combination of these shapes that are added together to make something that really looks alive, or whatever in this case. They might have actually printed these out to make a costume for the character, or the whole thing might have been done with computer graphics, and there's never actually a physical monster in that movie or wherever this thing came from. So what I like about CAD is it's great for people that are interested in art, and it's also great for people that are interested in science and engineering, because of course some things have to be very precise and designed well, and then other things are about artistic expression and fantasy and something brand new. So if you're interested in really high-end 3D design, this is a program here, Fusion 360. People design everything from motorcycle bodies to camera bodies. Here's motors. So lots of really cool things have been made in 3D design. So here's just a list of some of these things. Now what's great about a lot of this software is, even though it looks pretty high-end, a lot of it has access for students, so you can try out a trial version of it, and this is something that you can play around with. And of course there's lots of information online, places like YouTube, and also through the companies themselves that provide educational information for how to use them and design with them. So of course there's lots of places in the virtual world that 3D design exists. And then of course there's physical designs as well. Now we're excited about 3D design because it allows us to teach that creative process and also problem solving. So things like, let me show you this example. So before, in the manufacturing world, if you had a product, say you designed something, you invented something, and you were really excited to share it, of course you had to spend a lot of money to get that product built. Sometimes you'd have to create a mold of those things, and that could cost hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars to start to actually make your thing. And so of course you had to make millions and millions of those devices in order to make a profit. But what if you only want to make one of that thing? You may have heard about these prosthetic hands that have been created using 3D printing. Here's an example of one group that's making them.
The hand works by picking up signals from the user's muscles. When you flex a muscle, it gives off a signal which can be detected on the surface of the skin. Electrodes pick up these signals and send them to electronics in the hand. It then reads this information, works out which movement the user is trying to do, and executes it.
So the thing that we've learned from some of the news stories about this is that people that were missing a limb, that needed a prosthetic hand or foot, they often didn't get those things until they were an adult because they're very expensive to create, and a child would just outgrow it pretty quickly. So the 3D printer community started to come in and say, well, let's make them that are for children, and then we can print another one when they grow a little bit and print another one. So these things have become much cheaper and much more customized, right? They're individual, they're just for you. So communities have come together to add, the 3D printed materials to electronics to create some pretty unique things. So of course that's the real potential with 3D printing, is that you can create something that appeals just to you, right? Just to you as an individual. So you don't have to make 1,000 or 1,000,000 of those products. You can make just a handful. And of course, with our spinners, right, we can customize them and make something unique to us. One more example, just really cool 3D printing technology, is they can now 3D print houses. So that's a gigantic 3D printer. There's the nozzle there, and it's pouring out concrete. So a completely different scale, but really the same design as the 3D printers that we have in the library. So 3D printing, of course, has just a lot of potential. There's so many people using it. This is Thingiverse here. That's nothing but a big library of resources, of things that people have shared, that people are excited to show off and invite other people to print off as well. So it really is a collaborative community where people are sharing their designs, and we might soon live in a world where you have a 3D printer at home, and when you want to go buy something new, you don't have to go to the store. You just simply download the design and then print it yourself. So lots of cool things are happening. So I'm excited to share this with you. Hope you enjoyed it.